Dr. Menarez, I just entered into the record the op-ed from the Secretary and your report, and both of those suggest that you and Secretary Kennedy were actually pretty aligned upon CDC priorities. How many times did you meet with the Secretary in your 29 days? Be brief, I've got 5 minutes. Are you on?
Yes, can you hear me? I met with him twice. When he swore me in, he was in the room, he swore me in. And then I met him again on August 11th when he came down to tour the buildings that had been under the gunfire. And we chatted briefly.
And then you met the 25th as well?
And then the 25th, that's correct, yes.
Okay, and how many meetings were around the period of the 25th?
We had 3 distinct meetings that day.
Okay, and what did he tell you to do?
In the first meeting, briefly, in the first meeting, he asked me to commit to firing scientists or resign. He asked me to pre-commit to signing off on each and one of the forthcoming ACIP recommendations, regardless of whether or not there was scientific evidence.
And what were those recommendations? Did you have a foreshadowing of what they would be?
I did not. We did not get into any substance
But
about what those...
he wanted you to approve them?
He just wanted blanket approval.
Okay.
And if I could not commit to approval of each and every one of the recommendations that would be forthcoming, I needed to resign. I did not resign, and that is when he told me he had already spoken to the White House about having me removed.
Did he ever communicate he was going to change the childhood vaccination schedule?
Not until that very day. In that morning meeting, he said that the childhood vaccine schedule would be changing starting in September, and I needed to be on board with it.
Did he ever suggest that that he was speaking for the president?
In that morning meeting, he did say that he had spoken to the president. He spoke to the president every day about changing the childhood vaccine schedule.
Okay. Did Secretary Kennedy ask you to speak to anybody outside of HHS?
He did. In the second meeting that day, he indicated that one of his colleagues or collaborators, I don't know what the relationship is, was coming into town the following week, and he wanted me to meet with that person.
Who was that person?
The person was named Aaron Siri.
Aaron Siri, is he the trial attorney who wanted to get rid of the polio vaccine allegedly, and President Trump slapped him down and said he couldn't do that? Is that the same Aaron Siri?
I don't know the second part of that, but I do know that there were public reports that he is the individual who had suggested getting rid of the polio vaccine.
Okay. Now, Secretary Kennedy told the Finance Committee that he did not ask you to pre-approve, but that you were biased against the new ACIP, and he just asked you to keep an open mind. Did he cite any data or science as relates to the potential ACIP recommendations to persuade you to support them?
He did not have any data or science to point to. As a matter of fact, we got into an exchange where I had suggested that I would be open to changing childhood vaccine schedules if the evidence or science were supportive. And he responded that there was no science or evidence associated with the childhood vaccine schedule. And he elaborated that CDC had never collected the science or the data to make it available related to the safety and efficacy.
To be clear, he said there was not science or data, but that you still expected you to change the schedule.
Correct.
Okay. Dr. Oury, Dr. Menarez has just said the Secretary directed her to accept vaccine recommendations without seeing them and for which there is no science. Related to tomorrow's ACIP meeting, who decided what would be on the agenda?
So I don't have great visibility into that. I know the senior advisor and HHS counselor worked with our staff and the designated federal official and proposed items.
Okay, and who is the senior counselor?
The senior advisor is Stuart Burns, and the HHS counselor is Ren Archer.
And those are political appointees answerable to the Secretary?
Yes.
Is that the way does normally the Cabinet Secretary or political staff set the agenda for a scientific meeting?
Not for the past decade. I was at CDC.
So this is the first time that's been the case?
Yes.
And in preparing materials for the meeting, were you told to disregard science or to enhance science, or what were you supposed to do?
For the last meeting, we had developed...
I'm talking about this meeting coming up.
So for this meeting, we We didn't have work groups other than one for COVID, so CDC scientists were being asked by ACIP to develop questions and recommendations. I did suggest additional questions that the hepatitis B work group look at so that they could look at differences in age groups. The senior advisor was concerned that could bias moving away from a birth dose. I asked how asking questions and providing data could do bias if we didn't have the answers
Wait,
yet.
biased against moving away from, you're suggesting that they wanted to move away from the birth dose, but they were afraid that your data would say that they should retain it?
Correct.
That's okay. Senator Sanders.